Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Titanfall In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the R-97 SMG. The gameplay that you're going to get to see right off the bat is me using this weapon with a silencer and playing very aggressively on the map training base. Going to go off on people pretty hard, and then we're going to swap over to some Scatterfire gameplay. Going to mostly talk about the Scatterfire and silencer attachments today, but let's start off with some basic stats about this weapon. It'll deal 40 damage per shot in close quarters combat, but drop off to 30 damage at a distance. Since pilots have 200 health in Titanfall, that means it's going to take between 5 and 7 shots to kill depending on your range, and that is a lot of shots to kill. That's among the higher amount of shots to kill in this game, so the weapon's going to feel like it gets lots of hit markers, and it really does. If you're running the suppressor on this weapon, that's going to add 1 shot to kill at both your near and far ranges, which means it'll take between 6 and 8 shots to kill depending on how far away you are. Again, lots and lots of hit markers. However, when it comes to the ranges at which these shots are going to be happening, your maximum 5-shot kill range is 16 meters, which is not bad. It's actually identical to the 4-shot kill range of the car SMG, and it has a decent feel to it. However, the damage drop-off is much sharper than the car SMG, and after that initial 16 meters, it's going to drop off to 7 or 8, depending on if you're running the suppressor or not, so it's got a very steep damage drop-off and is in no way good for long-range combat. Now that we've talked about a few bad things about this weapon, let's talk about something that it's good at, and that's rate of fire. It fires at 960 RPM, which makes it the fastest firing weapon in Titanfall. As a matter of fact, I can't think of anything offhand that actually fires faster than the R-97 SMG. This means that you're going to kill people very quickly up close, and you're going to be able to dump bullets down range like nobody's business. Skipped ahead there a little bit. The time to kill is great up close, however it's very poor at long ranges. This gun's almost kind of like a pocket shotgun. It's like a shotgun if you also maybe wanted to have a little extra range. That rate of fire and how it performs is very similar to shotgun. Great up close, terrible at long ranges. Reload time is about 2.1 seconds. That's fairly average for guns in this game. If you have a bullet in the chamber, it's going to be 1.8. If you have a completely empty chamber and you need to work the slide, or that'll be 2.35 seconds, but depending on how you use it, your average is going to be 2.1. Recoil is a bit of a funny topic. The aim-down sights and hipfire cones are fairly average compared to weapons in Titanfall. They're identical to the car SMG and very similar to the R-101C and most of the other weapons. There's not a very big penalty for running, jumping, wall running, or anything like that. It's going to perform very similarly in almost every situation. However, I personally will rate recoil as being high. If you read the Titanfall wiki, if you talk to PC players or people that play this game a lot, they actually rate the recoil as being low on this weapon or medium on this weapon, are very controllable. That's a difference of opinion, mind you. I find that the actual amount of kick is not very high. It doesn't kick up too much, but it just shakes when I shoot it. I just don't like the way it shakes my screen. It feels like there's some big manly dude with a beard just grabbing by the shoulders and shaking me as hard as I possibly can while I shoot this weapon, which makes me feel uncomfortable, but some people don't have a problem with it. That may be just the different systems you're playing on, but let's talk about the Scatterfire attachment. The Scatterfire attachment will increase your rate of fire up to 1055 RPM, which is approximately a 10% increase. However, I found that it almost destroys my accuracy. The amount of screen shake and accuracy penalty that I get is very high. I believe it affects both the aim down sights cone and the amount of screen shake, so I don't really find it to be worth it too often. However, I do really like that rate of fire, and as far as I'm aware, it doesn't negatively impact the range or anything else on the weapon. So if you want to go the true pocket shotgun route, run Scatterfire. You can rush up on people and scatterfire them in the face and kill them oftentimes before they're even able to react properly, and it works very well. However, you're going to completely sacrifice any sort of range that you get with this weapon. I mean, of course you're sacrificing some ability of range when you run the silencer because it takes more shots to kill, but with Scatterfire I'm going to be amazed if you even hit anything at range. The only attachment that we haven't talked about today is the magazine size. You get a standard magazine size of 40, which is bigger than most weapons in this game. Thank goodness, because you'll need it, because you'll burn through it very fast with that high rate of fire. And if you run extended mags, you get 50, which is actually quite good. Extended mags is not a bad attachment. It just doesn't normally float my boat. If I've got a weapon like this, I'm going to gravitate towards Scatterfire so I can shoot very fast, or I'm going to gravitate toward the silencer so that I can play the rushing kind of flanking gameplay, which is ultimately going to be my recommendation. It's best with the HCOG sight because, well, that's kind of the only sight that you can have for this weapon, and it is better than the iron sights. And I also like to run it with the suppressor, because most of the time to get kills with this weapon, you're going to need to flank, you're going to need to get up close, personal, and kind of ugly. And even though I do like the fact that the Scatterfire shoots very, very fast and I can kill people very, very quickly, it just kind of alerts the entire other team as to what's going on and draws a lot of attention to me. If I have a suppressor, I can stay off the radar and generally kind of avoid them and continue to flank and be a stealthy little ninja, which I happen to like, and that's what I would recommend that you do with this weapon. Well guys, that's all for this episode of Titanfall In Depth. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, or check out either of the episodes there. You can click to them and they'll open in a new window. Drifter out.